He caught it.
So that was
Now,
wasted.
there. Now we're on air.
Now we're on the air.
There.
Take two.
I feel
Uh,
better.
hello, and welcome to another evening of Dungeons and Dad Jokes. If you are new with us, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can join in the chat. A couple of our players kind of keep an eye on that, and they'll chat with you. And also be sure to hit the like button because we need more likes, because that's important. So do that. Also, if you want to, you can check out our website at dnDadJokes.com, where we have all of our information, including the town criers up to this point. This campaign has been going for some time, so you can read through those if you'd like, catch up, or not, just watch and have fun. We also have on there upcoming events. So Rhonda just got done at Louisville Con this past weekend, and we are gearing up for the end of May, beginning of June to be at Chicago Steampunk Expo. So check out our upcoming events, and if you'd like to join us up there, we've got a link on there to take you to the cons link, so that you can get information about tickets, hotels, etc., etc. So check that out and come say hi to us. We'll be there all weekend.
Wish I could.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Can't come to them all.
you can't come
I
to them
consider
all.
how much I just dropped on this trip for Iceland.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think so. Go to Iceland, have fun.
Yeah, I shall. Cost about as much as my trip around the world.
Good heavens.
It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be fun. Are there any other announcements? Not that we're aware of.
Watch the website because we're going to be putting our new campaign on there soon.
Before too long, we'll be working on getting the new campaign set up. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It'll be new. It'll be different. We'll be learning things, and you'll get to watch us stumble and trip over the rules and all kinds of stuff. It'll be fun. Get to practice what I preach. Just do it. Get out there, have fun, grab a book, sit around a table, grab some friends.
There'll be a lot of me going, I gotta do what?
So it'll be a lot of fun. So be sure to keep an eye out for that new campaign that'll be coming up. So I think that's it. Right? I believe that's it. All righty then. Then we'll go ahead and we'll get started on tonight's episode, which is number 104, entitled Mirror of Time. Mirror or mirrors? I think it's just mirror. We'll find out. Mirror of Time. Yes, singular. I was like, I don't know why I would make it plural. So last week, let's kind of go through what happened last week. Last week, the group, I know the town crier's not on the website yet, nor is it in Discord, so bear with, please. So last time, our adventurers traveled to Charmant to discover that Strolduk had left there in search of an artifact known as the Skull of Borgin the Barbaric, and he believed it to be in Lagrash, so he had left a few days prior to go to Lagrash. Fix contacted him via a sending stone that was left behind, and he confirmed, that there is some unrest there, but he's in search of this artifact. Doesn't suspect a whole lot of trouble. During the time at Strolduk's, Evangeline took some time to go to the Amber Pope's office. She discovered a journal there of several of the previous Pope's writings and thoughts, including the most recent one, all the way back to the first one, which she knows to be Gregory Calaval. So she grabbed that journal for future reading, tucked it in her bag, and left a note, came back to Key. They had dinner, and just as dinner was finishing, Fix experienced some harsh burns on his shoulder because of the tattoo of the jagged dream. When he reached out to his family, he found that he could not get in touch with Gidna or Vaneth. When talking to Phalathus informed him a rather sizable earthquake happened, and he has not seen them either, but they were in town. And he promised to keep touch if he should hear from them. On your way out, after finding this information out, you thought, well, let's go check out Key before we move on. But on your way out, a woman came in. She introduced herself as Zavakri and shared that when whatever hit Thrice has also hit Key, and that Leoros was on his way to Rakar to check on that orrery. The rest of them remained at the Iron State. Uh, Fix thanked her for the message, paid the woman, and the group decided time was of the essence and they should probably continue on with their monoliths and raising the orreries or fixing the orreries. So you continued on your way to the Amber Monolith. There, you found a fortress built beneath it, which Evangeline confirmed this was a fortress built to kind of protect the Amber Monolith, as it was a symbol for the Order of Truth. She told everybody that the guard there was paid for and maintained by the Order of Truth. Not wanting to deal with the fortress, they floated around and found a tunnel to the Amber Monolith itself. Once they got inside, they found the orrery and they found the bones of a human there as well. Everything had deteriorated, of course, from what he was wearing, except there was still a crown there. When Evangeline drew the crown, the picture filled out to show Gregory Calaval, and Evangeline sat to program nanites to encase him and make him a burial of sorts. Fix the orrery and brought it back to life, and the shield hummed with magic once more. In the meantime, Evangeline, there was a portal there. Evangeline decided to check out that portal, sent TC through, discovered it does go down to the fortress in a room that several guards were there to guard the portal there. When she brought TC back, she could tell that the guards were quite confused and not sure what to do, and so they got out of the Amber Monolith quickly before anybody should decide to come through the portal. You guys teleported to the city of Bridges, where you went to the Amber Pope's homestead and sought shelter and food for the evening. Though the Pope was not there, and Maius wasn't there, but Maius's servants and whatnot allow people to use their library. So Kadeth went to the library there and studied some things, and spent the night in the city of Bridges. They had done a lot of teleporting. They needed a rest. The next day, they decided to go to the Scarred Monoliths to check them out. And on the way there, they realized just how large those stone guardians actually were. They had all heard of them, but had never actually traveled to see them. They're quite large, and as they approached the monolith, they came to life and began to attack, learning quickly that they were indeed guardians. It took some time, but they managed to destroy all of them. Kadeth used his detect magic to see that the magic was still quite strong, even among the dust of the stones. So Kadeth informed them there's a good chance they're going to reform, so let's get going. And so you guys made your way around the monolith through various means, made it up to the tunnel that you have now come to expect into all of the monoliths. There's some kind of tunnel. You made your way up to the tunnel and made your way in so that you could locate the orrery. And that is where we left off last week. You guys had not actually made it to the orrery yet, though it is a fairly short tunnel. So you travel down the tunnel for a little while. You make it to the orrery. You see that this orrery is a little different than all the other ones that you have discovered, except there is quite a bit of resemblance to Rarmon and Shaji. Almost as if you took Rarmon's orrery with the planetarium or planetorium, the moving planets around it and things like that. That is in there where it could move around and show the positions of the planets. But there's also a mixture with the magical table, almost like a sundial, only it moves, and there's no actual point for the sundial, but that you saw in Shaji for time. You know that this orrery, once it's fixed, will indeed show time, position of stars, planets. Um, it's pretty hefty orrery that can show you a lot of things. And it is, of course, not moving. Yeah, you're pretty sure it's broken. Just like all the others. You go in to fix it. Evangeline.
Yes.
All right.
I go in to fix it.
All right. Go ahead and roll me your Arcana. And I'm sure Fix will roll above a 30 on his forging.
That's a 23. I'm sure he will.
What did we say? His minimum is 18? Or-
17, 18, yeah.
So you go in there, you start tinkering away. You find a few things that is missing from this orrery. This one's going to take a little bit of time to actually fix. You know, the rest of them you've been able to like tinker, adjust some knobs, adjust some things, oil, replace a screw or whatnot. This one has actually a good missing part that's almost like it holds two cogs together in order to make it turn.
Well, I
So
am sure that Fix will take measurements and down
get
to
to
the
work.
umpteenth millimeter
All
and
right.
begin forging a new part.
All right. I'm sure that he will. He'll pull out his forge and begin forging a new part. It will take just a little bit of time. Anything you guys wish to do in the meantime? Forsyth, you're always looking around.
Mhm.
As you look around, you will see, with your true seeing, you will see a separate tunnel out of this room. But only you do.
Okay. I will saunter over that direction.
All right. Yeah, everybody who might be paying attention will see Forsyth saunter over to a wall.
And I will open the door, so to speak.
All right. You will see Forsyth walk through a wall.
Don't go too far.
Can't go any further than the path leads.
And I will look for the logbook.
All right. You will look for the logbook. You will find it tucked into one of the panels. As you walk down the pathway, you hear, and it's a tunnel. It's more hewn. It's not rough like the tunnel you came in at. So you think it's probably been carved out man-wise, just not actual stone structure. You kind of follow this tunnel for a little bit, and it starts to spiral upward, kind of toward the upper portion of the monolith itself. And as you get kind of around a corner, you do hear a couple of screeches, almost like a hawk, maybe, or vulture, um, bird-like screeches.
Understood. How far away would I estimate them to be?
Well, if they're echoing off of the chamber walls, you could probably estimate that they would be a good 300 feet or so, because it'll be kind of up the spiral case, maybe at the top of whatever the spiral pathway is, kind of taking you.
Okay. Having no fear of small birds. What to me is small birds. I'm not going to turn into a mouse.
Smart.
I will continue up the spiral.
All right, you continue up the spiral. Getting toward the top, these screeches, they kind of are back and forth. And as you get to the top, you see some very interesting creatures at the top of the
Okay.
spiral case. I'm going to, let me make sure I've got it in my camera.
Okay.
They seem
Fun
to
stuff.
They seem to be like almost not really attacking, but like smacking each other, biting each other. Like there's two
Practicing.
of them, and they're kind of bantering back and forth. And
Relative size.
they are large.
Okay. That is not an issue. I am going to have we had a rest lately?
You just came off of a long rest, but you did cloud walk here probably. Yeah, you did cloud
Right.
walk. Oh wait, no, you
Okay.
have not had a rest since you fought the giants.
Okay, so I do not have my detect thoughts as a use. I'd have to cast. And I do not have a third, 6th and 7th level. Okay, I am going to cast detect thoughts
Okay.
at 1st level
Um,
because I don't think it's going to be needed any higher for these.
no. These creatures, whichever one you choose, the
left one,
initial,
of course.
of course, um, the left one, the foremost thought is dominance. You do believe that these, just from kind of catching that thought, that these two birds are probably vying for dominance of
All right.
their little
They
flock
both wanna
or
be the
whatever.
alpha dog.
Yeah, they want to be the alpha dog.
Right. Not a problem. Both would probably see me as an intruder. And but being in that I obviously have dominance over them easily.
Probably.
Probably.
They do look like just creatures. They're not. They're just
Right.
beasts of sorts.
Right. I am going to I'm not going to draw any weapons or anything. I'm just going to step forward and say, why all the noise?
You will startle them, and they will turn.
Right. Hey guys, we got some birds up here, I'll say across the link. And they look like they want to fight.
Are they anything you can't handle?
No, I don't think so. They're pretty big. I mean, they're large birds, but
They're large birds.
yeah. But I don't think they're ready for an elemental.
No. So, yeah, you startle them. They turn and they look at you, and they stand up a little bit taller, and they get their hooks up. They're now like in a defensive type of pose.
Right. How far apart are they?
The two of them are standing right next to each other because they were just engaged with each other.
That's even more fun. How far away from them am I?
You are approximately 20 feet or so.
I've moved in the room. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm with.
Well,
I'm
even
within.
at the entrance kind of the room, you're about 20 feet from them.
Yeah, not a problem. obviously the proper elemental to come in would be a air elemental.
All right. Do you have the means to do so? Because you were an earth elemental.
How long ago was I an earth elemental?
Not too terribly long ago.
Oh,
Maybe an hour. I guess you could have waited while they're
yeah,
fixing the orrery.
yeah. I would have regained that first, and then
Okay.
before I went walking, obviously, because I'm smart
That's
enough to know that I do not want to leave anything off the table.
yep. All right.
So,
So you're gonna flip
so
into an air elemental.
yeah, and obviously they're going to attack me even if I seem peaceful.
Oh, I don't know. If you backed away, their threats might be okay.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like much fun. Uh,
That's valid.
I'm going to use my bonus action to slip into elemental form. I'm going to move forward at speed, and
All right.
I'm going to hit him with a whirlwind. Hit the one on the left with a whirlwind.
All right. So you're gonna hit the one on the left. Go ahead and
Yes.
roll me an initiative. Cadeth, Fix, and Evangeline, you all heard, hey, there's birds up here.
Yeah.
You didn't
Big
hear
birds.
too much of a big birds up here.
Yeah.
Didn't hear too much of a like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die kind of sound.
Enable the narrator.
But would you?
I actually asked him, "Is this anything you can't handle on your own?" And he said, "Probably not."
That's true. Probably not.
So
That
I
is
would
true.
continue to fix the orrery.
All right, Cadeth, what are you doing?
Where am I at comparatively?
You're in the orrery. You're probably about 300 feet away, unless you decided to follow him through the wall. You saw him walk through a wall.
No, but I'll go ahead and go through at this
Okay.
point and be
Kind of
prepared to cast fly on myself if I need to. If I
Okay.
need to help him out.
All right. Sounds good. Go ahead and
I want to get to where I'm within sight of him.
Would you
Okay.
say that both of these creatures are within my space? If I hit one,
What would be your? I mean, you can make them in your space.
yeah, I can.
They're right next
hit
to each other.
right. Well, they're within 5 feet of each other. They're probably within my
exactly.
space since I'm coming in as large also.
Right.
Okay, then both of them will need to make a DC 13 strength saving throw.
Oof. All right. The one on the left got a 23.
Okay,
one-
that's a save.
The one on the right only got a 7.
All right, that's a fail. Okay, so let's run the damage on this. It's going to be 38 plus 2. That's going to be 6 points of damage on the one that made the save, the left.
All right.
The one on the right is going to take 12 points of bludgeoning damage,
All right.
and he is flung up to 20 feet away.
Oof.
So
All right.
12
won't-
feet away.
12 feet away. All right. He's not going
Right.
to hit a wall.
And
He's far enough away for that. This is a very
let's
large
get a
room.
random direction. Oh, that's a 1, so straight behind.
All right. Yeah, he's not going to hit that wall either because that's about 20 feet away.
Right.
So,
But at least, and what's it say? And is knocked prone.
okay. All right.
Let's see. And since he didn't strike an object such as a wall or floor,
You didn't do that.
yeah, no, not really. I mean,
Not
he
really.
was on the floor, so he's just
Right.
hugging it now.
Yep.
And that's that's my my turn.
All right.
By the way, I had a 19 initiative.
All right. You are quick. They don't know how to handle an air elemental, so you get to go again. You have
Fun
one about
stuff.
12 feet behind you and one right in front of you.
Okay, I am going to first roll my d6 to see if I get my slam back. I do not, or excuse me, my special. All right, so 2 slam attacks against the one that did save.
The one that's in front of you. All right.
Yep. First attack is going to hit. It's 18 on the die.
Oh, yeah. That'll hit.
That's 18 plus 8, so 26.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
These are just beasts. Most
Yeah.
beasts don't have very high ACs.
right. 2d8 plus 5. Okay, that's 15 points for the first hit.
All right.
Second is a natural one. I don't go too many days without at least getting one of those.
Yep, pretty much. It is their turn. He's gonna come around and he's gonna try to hit you with his hooks. That's 2 attacks. Oh, I got a natural 20 on one of them.
Ow.
And then the other one was only a 9.
No, 9 is going to miss.
So the natural 20 is 16 plus 7. So 23 points of piercing damage with one hook as he scrapes around you. The other one is going to get up and move back to you. Yeah, half movement to stand up. He's only 12 feet away. He'll make it. So he's
Okay.
going to swing twice at you. One was a natural 1, and the other one was only an 11.
Okay, that's a miss.
So both of those are misses.
See, I can get natural ones. They should get them.
And they did.
Now I'm out of 20.
All right.
All right. I will roll my d6 because, and I still get a 3.
Well, at least
I
you
will
get it once.
I will start with the one on the left.
All right.
That is a 26 to hit.
That will hit.
That is 18 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right.
I think that's bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, I think air does bludgeoning.
Yeah.
It's okay. They're not immune or
Yeah.
anything to
And
any damages.
I will do my second attack.
I'm back.
It's
Sorry
better
about
to
that.
get rid of one. Guess
Cool.
what?
Did you get a 1?
Yeah.
That's 2 now. Should we count
Yeah.
them? All right. That's a 1. That makes it their turn. They're both going to try to hit you again. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, this one's an 18.
Oh, that'll hit.
Okay. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points of piercing damage. And then the second
Okay.
one is completely missing with double 9s.
All right.
And Kadeth, you're about halfway up there. You hear the battle going on. You hear some screeching. You know that he's probably in an elemental form. He's probably not in trouble yet since he hasn't said anything. You are muted. You are muted.
Am I dead?
No, you are not dead. You're fixing the Ori. Actually, you're forging at the
You're
moment
14.
because you had to make a part.
Do you need me to roll for it?
Sure, you can roll for it. We'll see how fast you forge.
As if.
Kadeth, you were muted when you were talking to us. So I have no idea what you said.
Sorry. I said I was going to keep going up. I'm going to get to where I can see Forsyth and
Okay.
just sit back and watch and only
Okay.
intervene if he really needs it.
Okay. All right. So you're can continue to
Appreciate
move that
that.
way. All right. And what did you get, Fix?
Rolled an 11 for a 28.
Okay, 28. Cool. All right, you're forging that thing. You did hear Forsyth say, "Hey, there's bird creatures up here," but I could probably handle them. I can take them. And Kadeth disappeared through the wall, basically, where Forsyth disappeared through a wall. So there's
I
an
did not
illusionary wall.
regenerate.
Okay.
We continue after the one on the left.
All right.
25 to hit.
All right.
13 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right. He's not looking good.
13 to hit.
13 actually misses.
Yeah, I didn't think it would. That's only a 5 on the die. All right. That's my turn.
All right. They're both going to attempt to hit you again. Another natural 1. At least we're 1 for 1 on that.
Yeah.
And then the second creature that's going to try to attack, its highest is a 17. I'm not sure. What
The 17 will hit.
Okay.
16 is my AC.
Okay. Yeah, the other one's
That's
all
with the +1.
hammered low. Okay. Oh, wow, that was bad. That was 9 points of piercing.
Okay, we can do
with a
that.
hook.
About half damage.
Yep. And
But
it's
we're
your go
gonna
again?
and we're gonna reduce them to 1 eventually.
Eventually, yep.
That is a 14 to hit.
14 just misses.
Just
Your
misses.
AC is 15.
Right. That would be, of course. Well, how about a natural 20?
Well, that will work. That might actually
Okay.
take him out.
Okay, so that's 11 plus 16 is 27 plus 5, 32.
Yeah, you bludgeon that poor bird down to the ground, and he is not moving anymore. But you do still have the
Bird
one
brain.
to the right.
All right, the other one gets his chance.
All right, the other one is going to attempt to hit you. Oh, with another natural 20, and the other one missed.
Ouch.
8 plus 12 is 20. Is 20 plus 4 is 24 points of piercing damage.
All right. Officially hurting.
All right. Fix, you managed to hammer out a decent tool that will work on the orrery during this time. And you can go back and attempt to then fix the orrery with Evangeline.
I would do so.
All right. Kadeth, you get to the top. You see an air elemental, which you assume is Forsyth, up against these creatures that I need to show you again, or do you remember?
Me?
Well, there's only one of them. Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay. One of them. The other one looks, lifeless and on the ground. So he seems to be handling himself okay.
All right.
So you're gonna watch.
Yeah, I'll just watch.
All right.
All right. Well, I will roll my d6.
All right.
I got a 5.
Hey.
Yay. All right, I'm going to hit him with the wind again.
All right.
So
that's
DC 13.
That's only oh no, that is a 14.
Who hiss?
I made it.
And I didn't. So 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oof, yeah, you biffed that one, didn't you?
Bad.
Yep.
I'd have been better off slamming him.
Probably. All right, he's gonna attempt to attack you twice and miss both times.
Oh, good. I was thinking as long as he doesn't get a 20, I should be okay. But
well, this time he missed both times.
yeah. Okay. Didn't regen. That's probably a good thing.
2 slams.
That's a 19, excuse me.
Yep.
For 13 points of damage.
All right.
And the second one just rolled off of that B and landed on a 2. That's a miss.
That's a bummer. All right. He's going to attempt to snag you again. Oh, this time he got a 20. One of them missed, but the other one was a 24. Not
That'll
natural
hit.
20.
Yeah.
That is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points of piercing damage as he
Okie dokie.
hooks through your air form again.
All right. We're going to. Can't get that anyway. That's 14 points, 14 to hit, which is a
14
miss.
misses.
And the second one is a 23.
Hit.
For 10 whole points of damage.
Well, it's bleeding. It's looking hurt. You guys get the orrery up and running, and you hear it hum to life, and you see that the planets begin to shift slowly at first, but then they pick up speed rather quickly. Ooh, I'm going to be able to hit you again. That's a 21. The other one was a natural one.
Okay.
Not for much damage, though. That's only 8 points of slashing damage.
All right. Let's see what 8 points does to me. Wouldn't you know, I had 9 points.
Hey, you are still in elemental form.
And we're not flinging again. I keep getting 3. 2 slams.
All right.
First one is for 21.
That hits.
And that's going to be 17 points of damage.
Oof. All right. And the second one?
Is a 22.
That hits.
And that's going to be for 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ooh. That'll do it. That's just enough.
Just enough. With 1 point left.
It's just enough. You slam him down to the ground and he's lifeless as well.
I am going to revert form just because it's not going to matter.
All right.
And I will start searching the area. Hey, you guys want some fried chicken for dinner?
I've been watching Delicious in Dungeons and harvesting animals. Those monsters are good eats.
Monsters are good eats.
Sorry,
So, yeah,
couldn't resist that joke.
you could totally rip them up. They probably do taste like chicken.
Yeah.
So you managed to get the orrery going. The planets seem to be moving rather quickly. I mean, they're not like spinning, but they are moving rather quickly, much faster than the ones in Rarmon, of course, because Rarmon matches the night sky, or matches the sky where the planets are up there. You think that this one will probably do the same thing, but it seems to be going through cycles at the moment. The other portion of it is also spinning, seemingly the same quickness as the planets, and it is also spinning. You're figuring it's probably catching up to time as well. But as you're watching, you see the center portion, the very center portion, kind of shimmers.
Time is fleeting.
It is fleeting. Shimmers a little bit.
Looking at the rotation of the planets and everything after spending, a good portion of time working on the orreries and basing it, essentially the way that would here by rotations around the sun, figure out how many days or years per second per minute.
You're probably years per second, years plural per second. Maybe a decade to a couple of decades per second.
Okay. So within 5-10 minutes, we should be caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you wait for it?
Yes. I want to make sure that it doesn't.
Wait for it.
I want to make sure that it
Wait for
doesn't,
it.
explode or go,
We're
fling
fill
stuff
out
on
the
there.
log until we know it's.
Yeah.
Got it.
And it sounds like Forsyth has this handle, especially with Kadath going.
Yep. Kadath watched it. Well, watched half of it.
It was a show.
But yes, you could carve up these creatures. They are creatures. And technically in the monster manual it says large monstrosity, but you've run across some very weird creatures that I have counted as beasts, which means if you really wanted to, Forsyth, you could.
Yeah, I
put
understand exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah, you can put the hook horror
Yeah.
in your forms if you'd like. It's only a challenge rating 3, but you can put it in your forms if you'd like.
All right.
And who's to say we can't cook monstrosities?
Oh, well, that's true. You can cook them.
Like I said, it tastes like chicken.
All right, looking around this room, you do notice that this is a fairly large room. There is, I mean, it's quite large. There's 2 large creatures in here. You see along the walls areas that look like they were once doors, or at least pathways or something. They almost have a semblance of like old broken stone that probably was once nice to symbolize like archways up here. And you see probably, I'm going to say 6 of them. You see 6 archways equally spaced around, outside of, equally spaced among themselves. The tunnel that you came in through kind of is between 2 of them, but the 6 of those are equally spaced around.
Any treasures?
Unfortunately, no. You do find like a pile of like, just junk, not
Detrius.
yeah. Things that these creatures would have nested with, or bones
Right.
of whatever they ate, or
Are there any I'll say windows, portals, ways out?
you do see one directly above you.
Okay, so that must have been their entrance. I should have stayed in form.
I mean,
what am I seeing out of it? Just the sky, or?
yeah, you just see the sky. It's probably
Okay.
pushing midday.
I know we're going to take a rest eventually. I'm going to use. I'm going to just cast polymorph on myself.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. I take that back. I'm going to use freedom of the winds.
Oh, there you go.
And that way I can just stay in this form, and I'll fly up through the hole and land on the edge of it.
All right. You fly up through the hole, and when you land on the edge of it, you realize that you are on a peak of what looks like a small mountain on the top of this monolith.
And I'm taking a peek.
You are taking a peek. As you look around, you see like ruins of old buildings scattered all throughout the top of this monolith and off to the edge. Like, the city was much larger than what's on top here. But you do see like ruins of old buildings, most of which are crumbled. You kind of are just seeing the foundations mostly, a few half walls. They're just They're very old.
Okay. I will try to take note of anything unusual, anything of interest, and let the others know if I see anything that I think might need investigation.
All right. Go ahead and roll me perception.
Such a low score on that.
Only
Yeah, only a 23.
a 23. All right. You kind of glance around. You do see in one of the buildings that looks all jumbled and whatnot. You do look. It looks like there's probably an underground portion to that building.
Okay. I will take note of the location and say, hey, there's something I think I might be interested in us taking a look at if we have time, or if we want to take time. It's more like it.
You see the shield expanding from out there.
I'll look.
And taking a look, you do see the shield expanding.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact.
You do indeed.
Funny you should ask.
Does that? How many more of these do we have? Just one?
Just the one in Ricard.
This is the one in Key, I'm assuming?
Yeah, Ricard is the one closest to Key, yeah.
Oh, the one, okay.
It's not in Key, but it's the closest to Key.
And with any luck, we don't have to deal with that one, but who knows at this point.
So we might have time to take a look at what I'm seeing as an underground entrance here.
Maybe.
And yeah, after you guys finish your work down there.
Well, just waiting for it to finish winding up or down or left or right or something.
Yeah.
Waiting for it to wind.
That's outside of my pay. Not my job description.
Oh my goodness. All right. After a little bit of time, you're looking around Forsyth. The orrery does slow down and eventually come to a stop. And to the best of your knowledge, Fix, although you haven't been staring at the stars of late, you've been really into the forge. You're pretty sure it's on today.
Okay, I'm gonna take the tool and see if I can find a spot for it.
The spot for it. All right, you move around, you look for the spot. You're able to put it in there, and you turn it, and a portal will open up.
Does it open up just in the middle of the room, or does it open up in those doors?
It opens up off to the side of the orrery.
Okay.
The doors do not open.
Okay. Then I will disable it and look to Elf to find the logbook.
I already have the logbook. I found it while you were forging, and I have filled it out and am ready to put it away.
Fix an elf.
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 Save a society.
Go ahead.
Really, really tired. I am going to get slappy.
It's all good. You're not usually the one that gets slappy, so it'll be interesting. Go ahead, Fix and Evangeline, both of you. Roll me perceptions. Kadeth, you're in the upper room. You also see the kind of the old archways. I'll just say old archways because you could tell that they were once kind of elaborately hewn stone, but they've just worn away with time, and who knows how much damage these creatures did to it and whatnot. But you also see those, and you see Forsyth kind of take a fly out of the top of this thing and take a look around. And of course, you heard that there's something down there that we may want to look at.
24.
So 24?
Sorry.
And a 21. All right. So, and
Isn't that like almost a nat 20 for you, Evangeline?
No.
A 21?
No.
No, but you're 24. Isn't that like almost a natural 20 for you?
No.
Oh, your perception's higher. Okay. Oh no, you do have wisdom. Wisdom it's intelligence that you struggle
Yeah.
with, isn't it?
I have intelligence.
Yes.
You have intelligence.
I have an
Wisdom,
okay wisdom. But yeah, I'm above average.
Intelligence is always my dump stock, unless that and charisma.
That and charisma, yeah. Those depending on what I'm playing.
Tux
Um,
definitely has the charisma though.
So, all right, with the two of you, as you're kind of, you're putting away the logbook and trying to kind of decide what you want to do next, you notice some different levers and buttons in here that has not been on most of the other orreries, and you don't recall them being present on Rarmon's
Hmm.
or Shaji's, even though this seems to be fashioned off of Shaji. Obviously, it was fashioned before Rarmon, so Rarmon probably fashioned something similar to this one. But you do see some buttons and levers that
Any
are different.
any labels?
No, orreries don't come with labels.
Oh. We'll have to change
kind
that.
of like children.
Uh,
They don't come with instruction books.
I will pull out the book that we had gotten that
Okay.
had the details of all the different orreries, and I
Okay.
will turn to this one and I will see what information I can find.
All right. You do find out you remember anyway from checking it out the first time that this is an orrery that deals with time. There is not only the time that is present, timekeeping, but you also realize that this one can shift, like you can visit time.
So is a watch a present that's time?
A watch that's present is time, yes.
Yeah.
A watch's time is present.
Yeah.
Any warnings or any limitations on when you can
Um,
go, or how far back, or how far
Is this
forward?
kinda like
I don't. It doesn't really have any real warnings or instructions as far as that go. It just kind of like says use at your discretion. Use at your own risk.
Hmm.
Or
no lifeguard on duty?
yeah, do not use without a lifeguard on duty.
Oh,
I'm going to start looking at it and like try to get inside and follow the levers and try to figure out the mechanism and how it's going to work before I start doing anything.
Okay.
yeah, and I will employ all of my artificer skills to see if I can assist him on that.
All right. You get in there and you fool around. Go ahead and give me investigation.
Anything else I can give you instead?
Nope, you are actually investigating this.
How about I just give you $5 and
I mean, bribe the GM. Yeah, I'm always down for that.
hey, there we go.
Or do you just want to assist me?
Yeah,
You
I'll
could do that
assist.
too.
I'll point over her shoulder, like right there. Yeah, that
What
looks
about
like
that
something.
one? What about that one?
Maybe.
What about that?
That's a 33.
Holy shnikes. All right. With a 33, um, you get in there and looking at some of these things, you realize that these buttons and levers are all kind of going toward the center of this orrery. And then as you kind of really get into the machine a little bit, you notice that they're pointing upward. You know that these buttons and levers will activate something on the top of this orrery, but that magically speaking, it also extends upward. You figure probably archways, buttons and levers, it affects the orrery and goes beyond, probably affects those two. Or whatever those are or were.
Am I back in there?
I mean, you can be. You can walk back down there. That's up to you. You're in the area.
Hey, if the fighting was all done, I probably would have headed back inside and just told Forsyth to call me if he needs me.
Yeah, I'll do that. Check one thing real
The
quick
reason I
here.
ask, if I hear them talking about it being related to time, do you guys think this is the one that was used to push Shaji out? Maybe out of time.
Saji isn't out of time. It's in a different. It's in the astral plane.
It was out of time at one point, though. Remember,
Mm,
or it
Yeah,
was the time was
maybe.
different.
It's
Time
because
was
when we
Out
different
of
there.
started-
time now.
when we started the Ori in Saji, the people started becoming visible to us, where
Right.
before they weren't.
Right, but
They're
their
stuck
time
in a
was
different
slowed
time.
down, right?
And
Yes,
even
time
though
was
it's in
different.
the astral plane,
Right.
Well, yeah, but
Maybe.
the what I'm saying is, what if this Ori somehow, if they
caused
use
it.
this one to affect the time in Shaji?
Because if history serves me correctly, it was when they started all the Oris to start the protection that Saji got pushed out into the astral plane, right?
It was shortly after.
Shortly after.
Like they got them all up and running. It stopped an attack, and then Shaji disappeared.
It's possible.
Perhaps. It possibly would. I don't know that it will bring it back. Based on Gon's vision, they all have to be activated before Saji will return. So it may be it could have been part of the cause. I don't know if it is used to control it.
Right. It's just an interesting thought, really.
I am fighting every urge that I have to not start pulling on levers
What's this one do?
and start mapping this out and putting down actual instructions.
Evangeline attempts to grapple fix.
I-
Punch the lever.
I don't know. Pulling levers might be fun.
Go ahead, do it.
Are there any numbers or any like gauges, set the date to 1980 whatever?
No, not really. But you do see that the levers are not like on off. They do slowly go up or slowly go down. The buttons are more or less on off, like punch
Yeah.
punch
Can
kind
we
of thing.
set the lever to the summer of 55?
The summer of 55. Which 55? Fine, you get 55 AD. In the summer. But yeah, no, there's no like numbers or anything like that. But you do notice that the levers are not just like a light switch; they're not on off. They are whatever the word I'm
Actual.
looking for, gradual kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I'm guessing it will. Here's my assumption is that depending on how far we push the lever will depend on the speed in which it goes one way or other. And once the orrery reaches the celestial spot
Alignment.
or alignment, thank you, of that time, we will then be able to press one of these buttons to
probably.
activate it.
It's a pretty good
How many
assumption.
buttons are there?
There's like 3.
What each of the buttons do, I do not know. One could be forward, back, and reset, maybe.
A reset button. Reset.
To reset the orrery, maybe
Yeah.
close the portal.
Somebody would have to.
Multiple ways to find out, but there's one that's fun.
Hmm. I cast invisibility on myself. She won't see me messing with. Oh.
She'll see the buttons and levers move.
I can detect invisibility.
That's true. She can see invisibility.
Okay. Well,
If you disappear, she's gonna cast the invisibility. He's up to no good.
I know what I will fly up, and then I will use Mage Hand.
That's no fair. I can't fly.
That's true. You have reminded everybody you cannot fly.
I can vortex warp him back. It's killing you. You want to push these levers and buttons, don't you?
What? Me? Absolutely.
I mean, it just says use, with caution.
You know what?
So push
I'm
them
not going to
carefully.
push a button yet, but I go over and I test the theory on the lever.
All right. You begin to push the lever forward, and the orrery will push forward.
As in going forward in time or backwards in time?
It appears like it appears that if you push the lever forward, because it's kind of in the central position, I guess I should have said that. If you push it forward, it looks like it'll go forward in time. If you pull it down, it looks like, once you get it into the resting position, it looks like it'll stop. But if you go beyond that, it looks like it'll go backwards.
Okay. I will
You just
get
kind
it
of
back.
fool around with it a little bit.
Yep. And then I will get it back to current alignment.
All right.
And then I will go back 5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right. You go back 5 minutes.
To ourselves.
Are there the buttons different sizes? What is the orientation of them?
The buttons are, top, middle, bottom. That's the buttons. It's just,
And no inscriptions, no difference. Okay.
nope.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll
ancient
retell it.
orreries were worked by one person or two people, and they shifted.
And then they trained the next people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was no need for instruction.
No need for redundancy. No. Okay. And then I'll look at Evangeline and be like,
I'll
press
stare at him and raise an eyebrow and go, your family might be in trouble.
yeah.
Do you want to put your future nieces and nephews' lives on the line right now?
There's buttons. I'll set it back to current time. And is there a key to this?
What?
Does it look like it needs a key to work at all?
No, it doesn't. Did you push a button? Which button did you push?
I stopped right before I hit the top.
Oh, okay. I mean, the orrery was used. You know that. The orrery was used. It had the shield. It was up. It was running. They had the shield. It's still here. I mean, it didn't go anywhere. I mean, sure, it pushed Saji out of alignment, maybe, but it's still here.
Looking around at it, does it look like it was ever sabotaged?
There was a piece missing.
You had to make a piece.
It could have been used, like you said, to push Saji out and was sabotaged. Based on our knowledge of the design and the inner workings of it at this point, could we figure out what would removing that piece just cause it to not work?
Removing that piece for sure, it would not have worked. You would not have been able to get it up and running without that piece.
Leaving it at current date, so not going back or forward at all, I'm going to push the top button.
All right, you push the top button. The center section that you noticed was shimmering kind of ripples a little bit and gets almost a silvery sheen to it. And it seems to be waiting.
I'm going to push the middle button.
You push the middle button, and you could. Kadeth, are you upstairs with all the archways, or are you back into the orrery room?
I was back at the orrery at the moment.
Okay. Forsyth, are you still up in the air, or are you back into the room with the archways, or did you come all the way back down to the portal, or to the portal, to the orrery?
I took a real quick flight around
Okay.
the mountain top because I had about 9 minutes still on my
Okay.
ability.
All right. You fly about. You take that search, and you were looking, and it just looks like a mountain kind of in the middle of a city. Probably wasn't there when the city was there. Probably was created either during the disruption of the city or maybe by these bird creatures. You're not really sure,
Right.
but it seems a little crazy to have something like this in the middle of a city, you know. And so on your way back through, you see, as you're coming through the room with the archways, you see a few flickers of light scattered among the 6 archways, like almost like they're trying to open up. So there's something going to it,
Right.
but nothing happens in the orrery room.
I'll press the third one.
The third one, everything shuts down. No more light. Light turns off.
Way to go.
And the shimmering pool just it's the silvery color kind of dulls out, and it just kind of shimmers again.
How long have we been in here?
I don't know, maybe 2 hours tops, maybe an hour and a half.
Usually do this while forging, but he's going to, because he knows the Gond had something to do with these. Actually, they were created by his inspiration. So he's going to actually get down and kneel on the ground and take a moment. And he doesn't have commune or anything like that, but he's going to pray to God and see if he can shed some light on any of this.
I'll just investigate the book and ask it near.
Okay.
I mean, just ask them through the book.
And Kadeth is looking at you both going, I'm sorry, I don't have a blood pool. I don't have a blood pool handy.
More importantly, I have no idea what to ask about. I don't know what's going on.
All right. Evangeline, you open up the book. And you want to see what the book has to say about this orrery, this orrery in specific.
And its knobs and levers and.
Okay. You see that your book kind of comes up and kind of shows the orrery in its grandeur. Pristine, of fine work of machinery and magic. You see everything in pristine condition. You see also in a separate little picture that it shows you a room that is ornate with beautifully carved stone in archways. And within the archways, you start to see pictures of various locations, various times. You kind of in one archway, you see like an order of truth priests. In another archway, you see Filolio, what you believe Filolio probably was like. And in another archway, you'll see a city that you don't recall. It looks very elaborate in their structures. They have metal, stone, and wood structures. A little bit more kind of what you recall of Saji, but it doesn't look like Saji because you remember being there. kind of has that kind of look to it, that city. You're not sure where that's at. And so you're kind of getting just these little images. The only words that come to you is, what is the name of this city? I don't remember the name of the city. I have to go back and look. You get Dagon. It says Dagon, the orrery of time, a mirror. Used by many sages.
Are they
Fix.
actual portals that we can go through? Or are they just image
Windows.
Yeah, windows to view?
One way to find out.
That is the question.
Mm-hmm.
Fix. You're praying to God about this orrery. And you get almost a sense of this orrery was probably one of the first to get built.
Mm-hmm.
And it was active and used before it became the focal point of the shield.
Okay.
And then it was also used while it was the focal point of the shield, of course, too. But Gond is almost impressing upon you that this was not built for the shield. It was built prior and then used as part of the shield.
You got a owner's manual? Oh.
Did you see one with the logbook?
He says, "You're my follower. You'll figure it out."
I will get up. I will look at Evangeline. Did you find anything out?
I will share those visuals, that knowledge that I found via the link with him.
And I'll just share that this is older than the shield. And I will turn to it and I will move the dial back a day.
One whole day. All right.
Incremental testing.
It all pulls. You know, you see all the planets move and whatnot. You go back about a day.
And I will push the top button.
And you push the top button. That center section pulls into a mirror, or it looks like a mirror. It's silver, you know, almost looks like a mirror. And it kind of ripples. It seems to be waiting.
And what were the locations that we saw in the in Evangeline's?
You saw like a person that was like part of the Order of Truth. You saw she saw Philolio, what she believed it was Philolio while it was still standing. She saw another city that had some architectural similarities to Shaji, but it wasn't Shaji. Not sure where that was.
Yeah, saw those archways.
Forsyth saw that they kind of shifted in light on his way back through. He's probably walking into the orrery room right now.
Yeah. And I'm going to sit in the corner and rest.
He's going to go, haha.
We should go check those archways.
I will reach over and I will tap Evangeline on the shoulder and cast fly on her.
Fly, little birdie. You'll have to fly through the tunnel to get through the archways.
I'll do that.
I will I will say the
You
name
could
of one.
walk there too if you wanted to.
I'll say one of the names of the. Oh, I thought it was up. Never mind.
No, that's the tunnel, and then it enters into that room,
Oh,
and
feel
then
bad.
there's
I thought it was
a
too.
thing up higher. Yeah, don't feel bad.
Okay. I'll say the name
It's
of one of the
multi-tiered.
towns to see if it's just waiting for a name.
Which town?
Filolio.
Filolio. And you went
Filodo.
a day. All right, you say Filolio, and you'll see it kind of shimmer in the middle and start to form a picture. You see a very like half buildings or half walls, some foundation stones, very overgrown by nature in the forest.
Kind of
You,
like what we saw.
He.
all right. It flips and it shifts again, and you see Key. You see a lot of smoke coming up out of the west side of Key. It looks like the central area of Key, the upper portion of Key, is intact. All except for the far west side looks like it's destroyed. A lot of the undercity is destroyed on the west side.
How we'd expect to see it right now.
Yeah, it's looking a little rough.
I will push it back to just before the feeling of disconnect from my.
Okay. Just before that, that's what, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, maybe?
About that.
Yeah. So you pull it back to about 3 days ago, I'm gonna say. You pull it back. Oh no, it would only be 2 days ago. You pull it back, and you see that it kind of wavers, and it gets a little cloudy while it's moving. But when you stop it, it kind of starts to focus again, and you see Key, and there it is, the city. Probably early evening. You see the lights flickering on for the streets. They're lamp lighting and doing all that stuff, and it looks like a functioning city.
Can I tell about how long before the incident?
You figure, based on the time and you being clockwork and having a keen sense about time, you probably figure maybe an hour.
Okay. So I will relay that over the link that this is a viewing lens to different cities. I'll bring it back to the present, actually.
Okay. Evangeline, you get up to the upper area and you see nothing right now.
And I will say that
the wrong button.
And you're
right, I haven't pressed that one yet. Yeah.
Yep. You bring it back to the present.
And I will say the name of the town that I think my mother is going to.
Lagresh.
Lagresh, yes.
Okay. Lagresh. In the present. All right. You see it all shift. The planets and stuff all shift around you. You see it go cloudy for a minute, and then it comes back on, and you start to see a city that's tucked in between a crevice of mountains. It's kind of in the upper portion of the mountains, between two mountains. You see a long city with some expands up the mountains a little bit with residences and buildings and other things, but it's mostly just long and skinny through that crevice in the mountains. You see people, it's midday. You see people moving about in the city. As you're kind of looking there, you notice that there are a few. They look like guards, but they're not. There's no symbol on them that you would recognize. That seem to be patrolling down the city. They seem focused on trying to go a specific place, like they're directionally. They're
They're
going somewhere.
determined to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just see them kind of walking down the city fairly quickly.
They're purposed.
Yep, they're purposed.
One more test before we press the next button. I'll lean over and I'll just say, Evangeline LaForge.
Okay. It shifts, and for a minute there, it starts to focus on Evangeline, and then it kind of wavers a little bit, and then it refocuses, and you see Evangeline because you're in the present. You see her standing upstairs, basically upstairs, although it's
Over
a
the link,
hallway that spirals.
over the link, I'll say, hold up a random number of fingers.
You see her hold up 3 fingers.
Huh. Arias Trinston.
Oh, all right. It shifts, and it goes to and it fades out of Evangeline, and it shifts a little bit, and then it starts to focus in again, and you see Arias kind of kneeling behind a rock up on the edge of a mountain, kind of looking down into the city, and she's watching. She's just sitting there. She's watching. You don't
Okay.
see Seti anywhere, the Drake,
Right.
but she's sitting there watching. She seems to be either waiting for something, waiting for a signal, waiting for a sign, waiting to see a certain person. She's just waiting.
All right. One more name. Copic Trinston.
You're gonna go on yourself. All right, it shines out, and then it comes back and it does the same thing as like with Evangeline. It's like what? It's like it's too close almost.
Okay.
And then it starts to focus in, and you do see yourself.
And then I'll press the second button.
All right, you press the second button, and the mirror kind of it holds your image, but it gets really kind of weird. It gets a little glitchy, but it holds your image in that center section. Evangeline, you see lights start to flicker on through all 6 of these what was once archways.
Okay.
You're pretty sure that they were once elaborate archways. They just have worn down with time. And you just see flickers of light. Like they're not forming a portal. They're not really doing anything. They're just flickers of light.
I'm going to investigate one of the arches
All right.
and see if, like time, whatnot, if there's something that maybe needs to be repaired, that might bring the lights to full view.
All right, you start looking at one of the arches, and it. Roll me your Arcana, not your Numenera, just your Arcana.
Your Arcana.
Your Arcana.
No? 26.
26. Okay. You get up there and you start looking. With your knowledge of Arcana, you're not even sure how this light is being held here. So now you're kind of looking at it. These archways were created because the light is here, not the light is attached to the archway. The light is just here.
Give it a smack. Or you're focused in on you.
Yep.
Focus in on something that's not inside the orrery.
Key.
All right, you focus back on Key and you see the city. It's got smoke coming up on one side. You definitely see people you can see people, even though you're far away, you can see people running around. They might be this tall, but, you see them running around, trying to take care of things, help people, pick up things, put out fires, all of that fun jazz. Evangeline, you start to see all of these archways are starting to kind of sputter more into life, and they're starting to pull up images. And as you're kind of looking around, you're seeing like the Dirk Hall. You're seeing the like the grand hall, the main hall where they have the courtroom and the governor's office and they do the council meetings and things like that. You see that. You see the docks. You see the university library. You see a tavern that is in the underground. you see, how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see Madame Giselle's.
Okay.
You want to send through TC?
I'm gonna send through TC.
Okay.
And I'm gonna sit on the ground for a moment.
So you don't fall over. Ah.
I don't fall over. There's nobody here. That kind of stuff. I don't want to fall into one of these things. And I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna watch through TC and I'm going to send him to Madame Dracal's.
Madam what? Madam Giselle?
Giselle's.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Madame Giselle's.
TC walks through, or he walks up to it. At first, he kind of hits it, and it kind of bounces back, and it kind of jars you because you've been through several portals. Like you know, you can just walk through them. It's like walking through a waterfall or something, you know. But at first, he kind of bounces back, and then as he continues to kind of press on, he has to like force himself through it. But he manages to walk out to the other side, and you are standing outside of Madame Giselle's. Well, TC is.
In key, in present.
Yes, in key and present time. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of commotion. You feel some heat coming from a direction, you know, away. Obviously, Giselle's is not on fire. What do you do?
First of all, I'm going to allow the link to open.
Okay.
And share the image with everybody.
Okay.
Is there a portal back?
And then I'm going to see if TC can return to me.
TC kind of, as he turns around, you notice that Madame Giselle's was lucky because as you turn around, you see the destruction, like not even 100 feet from her place. And you turn around, and sure enough, there's a gate there. TC walks through, and you can see yourself. He has to push through it, but you can see yourself.
And with that, I will press the last button.
You press the last button?
And I will disconnect from looking through TC.
Okay. All right, you press the last button. All of those portals shut down. The mirror thing where you were watching kind of where Key was goes down, and it's kind of just the dull shimmer now. The orrery resets. Well, it is at present time, so it doesn't have to reset.
It does open up portals, but TC had a difficult time pushing through, both going out and coming back, but he did come back. He was able to come back.
Well, it's technically going through time. I wouldn't figure time travel is going to be easy.
But currently we didn't go through time because it was proper time.
Yes. But I'm assuming the spell is still targeting a time.
Cadet, do you have detect magic going at the...
I mean, I probably would with all the stuff that's going on.
All right.
Just saying.
You notice with your detect magic that when he's messing with just what's there, you see the orrery. It definitely glows, has a constant glow. When he's messing with the various things in the center of the orrery where he's watching some cities and stuff or finding people, it shimmers and glows a little bit brighter. There's some good magic. When he hit it to go further up, you feel the surge of magic more than see it. And you definitely sense magic coming from above. All of this magic is definitely is it conjuration that does teleportation type things?
Yes.
Okay, it is all conjuration. I know it's not abjuration.
I was
It's not abjuration. I do believe teleportation is conjuration.
It is.
And so, but you do sense that surge of magic of conjuration, which would tell you that it's teleportation, but it's altered. It's not exactly teleportation.
Okay.
There's a little bit of what's the kind that changes things, like, is that enchantment?
Maybe.
There's a little bit of enchantment with it.
Possibly.
I just don't remember, and I can't find my player's handbook. Oh, there it is.
Well, if it's dealing with time, it would probably be in the same vein as something like time stop. And time stop is a transmutation.
Transmutation. That's it. You have conjuration, but it seems to be mixed with a transmutation.
This is scary dangerous.
You're telling me.
Even just the desire to try to change things. Having known how to fix it and being on the insides of it and messing around with it, can I figure a way to essentially lock it?
Um, Short of actually putting something to prevent things from being pushed or pulled, the answer is no. In order to lock it, it's going to turn off.
Dr. Doolittle had problems with that. Push me, pull you.
Push me, pull you.
What is the Ori base made out of?
The Ori's base.
Like where the
Fudge.
control panel.
Right. They are made out of adamantine. Not adamant. Well, there is some adamantine in there, but mostly obtanium, because it's a very, very durable metal. There
So
are
not fudge.
yeah, bits and pieces are of various other metals like steel and iron, and even there's a few things in there that's gold and silver and copper, and there's a lot of different metals involved, but the majority of it, like the hardcore part of it, is obtanium.
As odd as this may sound, I don't think that we have the time to secure it right now. But I have ideas. It would require forging. You know how they put the boxes over the thermostats?
We need to put a safety box on this.
Yes.
Or a control box.
And I would like it if we all contributed to make it even more difficult for unintended use.
I'll give a quarter to that contribution.
You get a copper piece?
Copper piece, yeah.
No, silver. It's a quarter. It's a silver piece.
Silver piece, yeah.
I think we can, between my forging, Evangeline's nanites, Forsyth's thieving and lockpicking. Don't know if we can incorporate blood magic, but we can.
If you try.
I mean, there are, like, you've seen it, or you've heard of it anyway, and Kadeth, you've heard of it, of locking things based on blood. You got to bleed on it to open the book. Matter of fact, you had to do that yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps we
That's the reason I jabbed
restrict it.
myself with the quill.
Okay, so then yeah, the blood magic to seal it from unauthorized use.
You gonna
But
take the time to make a lockbox?
I don't think we have the time right now. But I think Forsyth wanted us to investigate below.
Yes.
All right. How long does fly last?
An hour? As long as I concentrate on it. But if it's just down the hallway, he wouldn't have cast fly on her.
Oh, okay.
And did we have a rest since our last adventure?
No, we
You
haven't.
have not. I
Okay.
mean, Forsyth has kind of taken off to the corner and
But
dozed
that's
off
for a short
here and there,
rest.
but
Short rest.
Yeah. That's fine.
you are
Need a
welcome
long
to
one.
take a short rest if you'd like to take a short rest. If you
Short
want to take
rest
a
could
long
do me
rest,
any
you're going to
good.
be here for some time.
Yep. I will just have to deal with being out of a significant number of spell slots.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what you run into.
I don't know, but I need, whether you want to or not, I need a bio break.
Oh, it's a time?
Likewise,
All
I'm
right,
sure.
let's do a bio break. We'll take 10 while they decide to figure out a way to get up and out of this thing so they can explore the city.
All right.
So we'll be
We
back
shall
in 10.
return.
Yeah. Would it be so bad to take a long rest?
2,
Hello.
and we're back.
Welcome back. We left you guys. You were at the you were working on figuring out a way to get up and out of this mountain so that you could go and check out the lower level. Forsyth, you could have probably had another small rest while they were flipping through all of that stuff. Short rest. Other than that, do you guys have the means of which to get everybody up and out of here?
At this point, I would go ahead and cast Fly on Evangeline.
Can you cast it on more than one person?
Oh yeah, she has Buckley.
Yep.
I will cast it at 4th level then, so I can get her and Buckley.
Okay.
And
All right.
sorry, Kadath, we're using the rope.
Levitate away. We are using the rope.
My spell slots are getting limited.
Buckley's used to having a Kadath balloon. It seems to work. Everybody gets where they need to be.
My spell slots are always limited.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true indeed.
Mine
All right.
too, but I just don't go through them as fast as you guys.
And I have to actually get a full rest to get mine back.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast polymorph versus using a shape
wild
change
shape.
because
Okay.
yeah, because I want to save that ability to use the elemental if I need it.
If you need it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all come up out of there. Kadath being tagged, or tag along with Kadath being a tag along. Y'all come up out. You very quickly see the same thing that Forsyth saw, that this is kind of a mountain in the middle of what used to be a city. You can see foundation stones, half walls all over the place. It doesn't take long. Forsyth points out where he sees where that building had an underground. That building had at least a basement, if not anything else. And you head that direction.
And that's what we're here for.
All right. You head over there. You get to that building where in the base of it you have it looks like that there was an opening that you have to clear away a little bit of rubble and stuff that has a set of stairs. So it wasn't a hidden lower level, but there is a set of stairs to the lower level. You clear it away and you head downstairs. At the base of the stairwell, you have a small room. The stairwell enters into a small room that has a desk, a couple of tables, and it looks pretty sparse. Except on the tables, you do see some, like flasks, some basically almost a chemistry set per se. There are things that are fallen over, there are things that are broken, but that's what you figured that there was on at least one of those tables, was like chemistry equipment, alchemist equipment, things of that nature. The other table is empty. The desk is empty, or doesn't have anything on top of it at least. And out of this room are 2 doors.
Shall I investigate
Sure.
Please.
these things? That was only a 23.
Well, with your 23, you look around and you start kind of sifting through some of the broken glass and seeing stains on the table. There's no liquid here anymore, but you see some stains on the table, and you kind of sift through that a little bit. You check the other table. There's some stains on that table too, but doesn't look like there's any broken glass or anything on it. But there are chunks of things on that table that seem to be missing. Like there's been lots of damage to this other table. The desk itself looks like it's fairly pristine, actually. It's covered in dust, of course, but there's nothing on it. There's no damage to the top. It doesn't look like the top is stained. You start to kind of pilfer through some of the drawers. You find in the drawers some parchments, ink, quill. You find in another drawer um, a bag of coinage. You find in the bottom drawer, you find a book. Well, book is a loose term. It's a bunch of parchments wrapped in leather. Like it's a logbook or journal or something of that nature, not an actual like published per se book.
I will put everything up on the desk and look at the parchments in the book.
All right.
Um,
All right. Yeah. There's several pieces of the parchment are blank. Well, pretty much all of the loose parchment is blank. The ink and the quill, the ink is dried up. I mean, probably with a little bit of moisture, you might be able to bring it back to life again, but it is dried. The quill, it just looks like a fairly nice quill. The feather on it is probably swan or some bird as such or something like that. The book, you open up the book and you see notes written almost in shorthand, like just letters here, letters there, some symbols, things like that. It's very jumbled. It's not even in straight lines. Like there'll be something in this corner and then something down here and then a little picture or whatever, of like the flask or something and some jumbled letters with it. And as you kind of flip through, most of the pages are like that. You do come across one symbol that you recognize because I assume Fix shared it. You see the swirl with the 3 stars in one of the sections. And you see as you kind of flip toward the back of the book, you start to find like logs. It'll have basically looks like date and time. It'll have a little something written in there. You can't quite read it. And then it'll have like a couple of initials off to the side. And then the next one down, date, time, a little description or something, and then a signature, initials. It's not a full signature. It's just like a little scribble, like initials. You can't quite read it.
Seeing that symbol and knowing that it's something that Fix saw, I would definitely call him over.
Yes. Can you remind me what that symbol was? Because I'm drawing a blank.
You found that symbol as basically where a maker's mark would be on the thing that was trying to suck Buckley in.
Oh, that's right.
On the creature known as a dark fathom.
Looking at the logs and stuff, is it another language or is it a code?
All of the little shorthand scribbly gobbledygook is definitely looking like code almost. But the actual like log section, it's just in an ancient language.
I will reach up and activate my comprehend language.
All right. You comprehend language and you take a look again. You notice immediately that these descriptions are just little descriptions of what took place. Like on April the 3rd, mixed these two chemicals, received a quite a shock or whatever, and little initials. And then in May of whatever, I poured this chemical on top of a piece of gold and it melted the gold and initials. Like, but you're seeing that the initials are different people. Like, it just seems to be like people that came in and used this place and was expected to log what they did per se.
Any names or any initials that I am familiar with?
Possibly. Let me look at my note. Quite possibly. Open this up. Reading through. Early on, you don't really see anything that would be right off the top, the early initials and whatnot, like the oldest dates. You don't really see anything that might trigger. Toward the end, you do see Shay Marsk. You also
is that the person who we fixed their adamantine body, or is that somebody else?
You fix
Oh,
their
hey.
At the circus.
Wow. I rolled a 15 on my intelligence check to recall that memory.
Hey. Wait a minute, that's that guy from the circus. You see Shay Marsk in the later dates. You even see one. You see one that I cannot remember her name right offhand, that you would recognize from. You pulled them out of the pensives in on the Great Wall, on the Northern Wall, the mage.
Oh,
I got
gotcha.
that name right here.
I'm like, I'm gonna have to really dig for that one because I actually did not write that one in here on that list. I was
We'll
like,
have
wait,
to
she
ask
should
about
be
this.
there too.
That was the southern wall, Farbron.
South of Farbron, it is the southern wall.
I think I put it in on the under Farbron.
You might
because
have.
That's where we took them to.
No, you took them to another city that's between the two, and I can't remember. Lipgara.
Oh, okay. That's right.
It's like remembering real peoples and places.
Yep.
That one place, the lip.
That one place with the thing that went back and forth and round and round. You remember,
Right,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
It's Elnoa. Elnoa.
Elnoa.
The
Yeah.
mage from Osnu.
Yes, a mage from Osnu. You will see her initials in the later dates as well.
Okay. I will let others know what I've seen. This seems to be a communal testing, alchemical testing laboratory.
Interesting.
And there are 2 doors that leave this room.
Interesting that it's at the location where we think possibly.
And then that
Something
there
might
is
have
the mark.
happened to kick Saji out.
Perhaps that there is the symbol of the that was on that weird gravitational pull creature. Which I know DM just said the name and I can't remember.
Well, you guys actually probably don't know the name, but it was a dark fathom.
Okay.
Gravitational pull creature works.
That is what it is now known as. Gravitational gravity critter. There we go.
The gravity critter.
Getting more and more interesting.
Yeah. We may have to talk to some of them at some point. Looking at the desk, is it too pristine?
I mean, there's a little bit of dust on it, but it definitely doesn't show wear or tear.
Like at this, as long as it's been here, obviously ages, it should be deteriorating,
It's not.
and it's not.
Mm-mm.
Kadath.
The table shows more deterioration than the desk does.
Kadath, is this desk magical?
You cast detect magic.
Sure.
Kadath just shrugs his shoulder. I don't know why. What do you want me to do about it? He
I'll take
casts
a look.
detect magic. You see that the desk does indeed glow. It glows, as does the logbook. The same glow. And it glows. I'm almost there. Oh, for crying out loud. I expected it to be right there, but apparently it's called something I didn't think it was called. Let me take a look at the spell descriptions because it's obviously not there. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I don't know. Probably abjuration.
Okay. Everything's abjuration if you don't know what it is.
Exactly.
I'll place my hand on the desk and I will cast Identify.
Okay. Um. All right. Okay, it might be divination actually.
Oh, okay.
Maybe divination. Oh, wait. Let me see if it's named.
No, it's abjuration. Oh.
It's either divination or abjuration, either one. To be fair.
It's Divjuration.
It's divjuration. Aha! Oh no, really? Boy, I finally found it. It's enchantment.
Enchant duration.
It's enchantvination. Oh my gosh.
It's magic.
It's magic. It glows an enchantment. You lay a hand on it and you cast Identify. You will identify that this desk has the Zone of Truth spell on it.
Interesting.
The book glows with the same magic.
So whatever the book
I'm
is
gonna pick
saying
up-
is telling the truth.
I'm going to pick up the quill
Okay.
and I'm going to attempt to write, "This quill is black."
You attempt to write, "This quill is black," and nothing happens because, quite frankly, there's no ink on the quill.
Oh, that's it. Hey,
I
Evangeline.
will pull out some ink. You tried
The
to say
ink is red.
The ink
Yes.
is red. You start.
Royal-
So you dip it, and you very clearly the quill has a white feather, and you write, "This quill is," and every time you try to write the word black, it's a mess. You can't read it.
I'll write white.
You'll write just fine.
Okay. Very cool. We'll have to huh. Interesting. I'll relay that to everyone. don't know if there's anything else we'll learn from here. Forsyth?
Should we take
Or-
this book with us or leave it here with the desk?
It goes with the desk, I think. And there was nothing in there that we could figure was important or incriminating or anything.
Not
That was
we
there.
can tell.
No, as far as you can tell on there, I mean, there's a lot of shorthand things that seem to be in code that's, don't quite make sense. Scribbles, drawings, things like that. But I mean, if you can figure out the code, it's telling the truth. You figured out that much.
I'm going to look around the room and see if there are any other exits. There are 2 exits,
There are 2 doors.
2 doors. Well, we go out the one we didn't didn't come in.
Well, you didn't come in a door. You walked down a set of stairs
Yeah.
and you were in this room.
Sure. All right. Well, where positionally are the 2 exits or 2 doors?
The 2 doors are on the wall opposite the stairs. So you've got the
Okay.
stairs come down, and really off to the right is kind of this area with the tables and the desks and stuff.
Right.
But the 2 doors are opposite the stairs.
Okay. I'm going to go to the door on the left
All right. You go to that door.
because, it's because then it won't be right.
You're right.
And the other one's left.
Might as well
But
be left.
anyway,
Oh my goodness. All right. So it doesn't have. It's not locked.
just going to open it and look through it for now.
All right, you open it up. It's kind of a long, skinny room with some shelves on it. You see that there are several vials of various things. Some of them actually still have liquid. Some of them have been knocked over and shattered. There's some glass on the floor. But this looks like a storage room. There are some baskets of various herbs, spices, raw material. You could pick out pretty quickly that these are probably like spell components, alchemist components to create potions, spells, scrolls, whatever.
Anything
But
you guys interested in there?
there are some vials of liquid and stuff in there.
Right. So just leftover stuff.
Yeah. That may or may not be good. Kadeth, if you poke your
Right.
head in there, you can see that there are 2 vials that seem to be glowing.
I'll grab them, I guess.
All right.
See if I can figure out what they are.
All right.
LNOP.
I'll try the other door. The one that's left.
All right. You go to the other door.
Right.
And right. You go to the right door.
What's left? Make up your mind.
Well, it's what's left now, but it was right for a moment.
The one that remains.
Yes.
The one that remains. You go to that one. It's not locked. You open it up, and you see in here there are several shelves that have several books. Some of them you see on the floor. There are several books laying on the floor as well. They look old. They look deteriorated, except for one. There is one book right by the door that looks like it's in good shape.
Does it have a title?
Magic.
It is indeed magical, with the same enchantment.
That's the quill?
As the other book. It's not the quill
Oh.
that was enchanted. It was the book that was
the book
enchanted.
was. Okay, sorry. I missed that.
They want you to write this book. This book opens up. You see in this book is like logs of like people basically like taking books out and things like that. There's a date of takeout, there's a date of return, there's the title of a book, there's initials.
So it's a library logbook.
It's like a library logbook. and you flip it over to the back side as you get past a lot of the logging pages and some empty pages. Toward the back, you have a list of mages. There are several names on the list.
Any names I recognize?
You recognize Shay Marsk and Ilona Bonheimer. I don't know.
So old mages.
Mhm.
Were these like well-known mages kind of thing?
These
It's a
are
Hall of Fame.
well-known mages or mages that had permission to use this area.
It's a members list.
It's a
They were
members
in
log.
the Mages Hall of Fame,
Yeah, right.
batting over 300
That's right.
lifetime.
Which is, well, since at least one of them's lifetime is technically like thousands of years.
Yeah, true. He was an elf.
Oh no, that chick that we brought back from the
Oh yeah,
the
true.
wall,
Yeah, the chick,
Yeah,
she was just stuck.
and the other one's wasn't an elf. He was an android
Yeah,
essentially.
he's kind of pretty much a warforged at this point.
we can rebuild him.
We can make him stronger.
I did. Oh,
Yeah, he had something wrong with his arm.
They don't know the $6 million man. So
oh, I know.
I know the $6 million.
Faster, stronger. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, sometimes we use obscure references.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes we were younger.
Some interesting stuff. I don't think it's anything to write home about, or maybe it is for you in your realm. But there's no gold down here.
There was a coin bag on the desk.
Oh, was there? I'm going back to the
There
desk
was
for a
coin
minute.
bag. I'm gonna double check the desk. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah. I'll be back in a minute.
You check out the coin bag. Nobody picked it up. You open it and you take a look, and they appear to be gold coins, but they're not the standard. They're not stamped standard. They are stamped with some old languages or with an old language, and it seems to have some kind of symbol on it that kind of looks like the Ori, like some kind of planetary symbol on it, which would signify that they were probably minted here in the city when it was once running.
Oh man, I've got hiccups now.
Oh no.
Did you figure out what those potions were, Kadath? Or
Oh, I don't know. Did I?
Roll me Arcana. Do you have Arcana? And I'll just give them to you.
20.
Oh gosh, yeah, I'll just give them to you. One of them is a potion of diminution. The
That's
other
getting
one,
smaller.
the other one is a potion of heroism.
But bold. Smaller but bold. That sounds like Fix.
Small and bold.
well, I don't even know how tall. Actually, I would know how tall Forsyth is in his actual form. I've used
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when true
True
seeing.
Sight. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know how tall is a changeling on average.
This one is 4'5".
You're not that much taller than me.
So,
Or say.
but I am taller.
But
But I've been 7 feet.
at least I know what it's like to be tall.
Yeah.
It's overrated. I'm sure.
Says the short guy.
Whose name is rated. All right. So what do you do? Peruse the books.
No, you said they were destroyed essentially. So
Well, they are decayed and falling apart. I mean, you touch them, they might fall apart. Peru's kind of looking through, you see all kinds of books on uh, herbology and alchemy and um, lots of things that have to do with the chemical makeups and natural states of things.
here's the dilemma. Do we have time to rest or do we need to get going?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how you can check that.
What time of the day is it?
At this point, it's probably going about maybe 4 o'clock.
Actually, I'm going to use my circlet and connect to the ancient that was going to be sent to fix the other orrery.
Leoros.
Well, there is an option of going to Key.
There is that
If
option.
I go to Key, I can't promise that I'm going to leave. It is taking everything that I have not to turn that thing on and go to Key and try to find my sister.
I'm not saying we shouldn't, because that's
The
more
world is
eyes looking
splitting.
for her.
The world is splitting, and we don't know when the next split will be.
But wouldn't turning that final one on be a good thing? Wouldn't that prevent the world from splitting?
Well, I'm not
Maybe.
saying don't go to that orrery. I'm
Yeah.
not wanting to go to Key.
Well, isn't the orrery near Key?
South of Key.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The thing is
Let's
we
look.
can get to Key instantly.
We can get anywhere instantly.
Understand, but we know we can take a long rest there more easily.
He is in shambles. We could take a long rest here.
Okay, I was just thinking a more comfortable one, but okay.
You sleep in the rafters.
No, I sleep on the housetop. It's better.
That's true. That's
You
true.
see more from up there.
Yeah,
Is it-
from Key to Ricard, where the monolith is about the same distance from as Charmant to the obelisk of the water god.
Okay, is there a city
They're
that we have
fairly
been to
close.
recently that's nearer to the monolith?
Not to Ricard.
Okay.
Key is the closest city to Ricard. Although, Fix, you have actually been to Moulin, which is south of Key. It's the
But I
capital of
haven't.
Iskabel. But nobody else has. You
Right.
used to go there on family outings to the beach in Moulin. Family vacay.
I was just thinking of traveling by plant quicker.
Well, about the same speed as teleport.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Whose spell slot you want to use?
Yeah. I would like to try to connect to that ancient.
Right. You want to connect to Leiros. All right. You connect. It's very jumbled at first.
One at
And
a
there's
time, please.
Yeah, and it's there's a little pushback at first. They're very used to protecting themselves. But after that slight pushback, it kind of opens up, and you kind of enter in, and you hear Rose. Nope. You hear the guy, Retan. Not Rose. You don't hear Rose. You hear Rose, but he's kind of like in the background. He's
Right.
kind of mumbling things. But you hear Retan. He'll be like, Yes.
Be used to having somebody in your head.
Well, yes, I'm used to having somebody in my head. I'm used to it being a specific somebody.
How goes things at the orrery?
I'm just letting Rose drive the bus here. He's he's been busy. Seems like it took some significant damage, and on top of that, it's pretty accessible to the public. This is probably one of the only monoliths out here that like people actually come into and out of.
Are you missing parts?
We are. I mean, Rose is Jimmy rigging it, jury rigging it. However you- Pulling a few wires here and there and making them work for other purposes. And
Based on my knowledge, like how dangerous is that?
well, it all depends on the orrery. On the orrery you just fixed, probably very dangerous.
What is the what was
Some of the other ones not so much.
what was the function of that one?
That one is. I got that written down here. That one is just the teleportation. It's teleportation to other orreries. It's connected specifically to other orreries. Kind of does what your rod does,
Okay.
but you have to go there to be able to do it. Whereas your rod, you can go to any of them.
Any estimate of how long?
You kind of hear a secondary voice kind of chime in and says, 24 hours?
Any opposition?
No, once they realized what I was doing, they pretty much left me alone. It seems like they're just as excited to see what happens as I am, although I kind of know what happens.
Well, good news and bad news.
Okay. Bad news
Good
first.
news. Bad news? You're stuck with me for 24 hours.
Oh god. You hear a moan from Rose. It's like, oh god. Retin's like, oh, okay. It's like, whatever. All right, good news.
So we may be able to use that to our advantage. Good news, all the other orreries are repaired and in functioning order. If Gonda's vision is to come to be, that is the last one, and then Saji should possibly return.
That would be interesting. That would complete the shields again.
It would.
And you said Dagon is up and running?
All of them.
Okay.
I'm very good at fixing these with Evangeline's help.
Well, with 3 of us, we might be able to get it done in 18 hours.
I do my best.
But I can take care of this. If there is someplace else you need to be, it'll just take some time.
I'll get back to you on that.
Very well.
If you need me, I'm here. And I'll send him an image of a different orrery to show that we can share images and everything.
Okay.
This.
What orrery are you showing him?
The other one of the other ones that had like no real special use. I am not showing this one.
Okay. Probably the one that has the least special use is the Orgarek, where that just kind of affected nature a little bit, made nature grow more. It was kind of, and then it had the shield, of course.
Right.
So
we can share images, thoughts.
All right, you're gonna be. Why did I put that down? So that's interesting. That's kind of nice that we can share images. You're going to be in Benalera then. Or I guess it's not Benalera anymore. The Orgarek.
That's not where I'm at now.
Oh, well, that is the image you sent.
Yes, we can send thoughts.
Okay. Very well. Well, I guess I'm attached to you for the next 24 hours. So have fun listening to my gobbledygook while I'm fixing an orrery.
With that, he'll kind of like let it not. There's no like hanging up, but it kind of like become background
Just let it be background.
and stop transmitting, I guess. They say that it'll take them about 24 hours to repair.
Chuck is
We
printing
can either.
something.
It almost sounds like one of those old dot matrix printers.
It does, doesn't it?
I used to use them all the time.
Oh yeah.
We used to know how to play music on them.
We can
Alright.
either
Line
use that
line
time to
printers are
rest.
even better for that.
We can use that time for rest. We can go to Key and try to help there. Or we can just go there now and try to help them shave some time off that repair.
Well, there's already been 2 attacks, for lack
Yep.
of a better word. One at
Yeah, I think
Trice,
we need to
one
get
at
it taken
Key.
care of.
If
They
the
were
orreries are to protect, we should get it taken care of.
They were separated by approximately 2 weeks, something like that.
And how long has it been now?
It's been about 3 days.
I suggest we get a rest.
But the original scar was separated by eons.
Eons, yeah.
We don't know if it's going to keep to the same cadence.
There would be no reason why all of a sudden things are tearing apart the earth now.
Yes, no reason at all.
No reason at all.
How about we go there, and Forsyth, you can rest while we work on it.
I think you're going to need a rest too.
Eventually.
On the plus
I can
side,
make it.
you won't have to necessarily use spells.
That's a theory.
In theory.
In theory.
I mean, Leoros is there, so he's not being attacked. He's not.
Well, once I get my rest, that provides a lot of protection for the rest of the group.
All right. So I'm going to reconnect or, reopen and say,
all right.
Can you show me where you're at right now?
Sure. And then it takes a moment, but then you get an image of him kind of scanning the room. It looks like probably he took time to move to maybe the doorway or whatever, and just looked across the room so you could get a full visual.
Thank you. And I'll look to the others. If we're ready, I can get us there.
All right, let's go.
I will cast teleportation.
Teleportation?
Yes.
Y'all show up dead.
Okay.
Teleportation.
You had to use that one, didn't you?
I would figure this is seen casually or very familiar. Which would you say?
Somewhere in between. Is it like a +5, +10, or like is it a?
No. For seen casually, it's on target is 54 to 100. Very familiar, it's 25 to 100.
All right, let's do 40 to 100. We'll go somewhere in between.
All right.
Because it looks like any other orrery except that, so there's familiar aspects to it, but you did just see this one.
Right. All right. Then we would arrive on target. I rolled a 66.
Cool. All right. You guys arrive. You kind of pull out of the teleportation. This is the first teleportation you've done today. And you are inside an orrery. You see Leoros kind of on hands and knees up in the orrery, kind of tinkering and whatnot. It seems like he's probably attaching something. That's what it kind of sounds like. And he's working hard. He's not even like there's nobody else in the room, but this room is it is fairly pristine. Like it looks nice. There's a nice door. It looks like there's been traffic in and out of here, like as recent as last week, or as recent as a few minutes ago because of Leros. But it's used. Like people come in and out of here. You funk.
I actually started pulling out my forge.
All
Tell
right.
me what parts you need. Tell me what you need.
I need, and he'll start giving you specifics, like very
Dimensions.
detailed dimensions and things like that for various parts. You can tell that you and him kind of think alike. He's a tinker. He'd get along very well with Evangeline. And he'll start kind of barking out, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what needs to be fixed, this needs to go here, that needs to go there, and you guys get to work. Go ahead and roll
I
me.
will help everywhere because I am experienced at forging, but I'm not proficient. But
Right. But you can help him to put things together.
I also can help tinker.
Yep.
Which I am proficient at.
Yep. And so he'll show you another access panel. You can pull it down and you can see that this one is definitely in worse shape than any of the others that you've run across. Mostly because it's been accessible.
And people are dicks.
Yep. Well, they'll take the scrap of metal and go hawk it off somewhere or whatever.
Or just break it to break it.
Or just break it to break it. And so he'll show you another access panel. So go ahead and roll me a forging. Go ahead and roll me your Arcana to fix this. Forsyth, you find a corner and you take a nap.
Yeah.
I rolled a 13 on the die for a 30.
Nice.
One thing you learn on the
wisdom.
street.
Right?
No, that
25.
That
Okay.
hasn't gone up.
All right. With your forging, you're able to knock out these parts fairly quickly, a little faster than Leoros would have expected. So he's like, "Oh, good." He gets right on it and whatnot. Evangeline, you get in there and you start tinkering and you start fixing things, and even before he has a chance to say, "Hey, that needs to go," you've already got it half fixed. It's like, okay, she knows what she's doing. So you start working really good in conjunction, and you manage. Forsyth, you're gonna get. If you want to sleep this whole time, you can even get a long rest because it's gonna take about 10 hours to get this
No
fixed.
problem.
It's super early in the morning. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning when you guys finish this. Leoros is yawning. You're yawning, literally.
And I'm just stretching.
And Forsyth is waking up.
Because it's literally going on 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, because it's literally going on 1 o'clock in the morning.
It's only 10 after 12. But
And
still.
you manage to fool around with this, and the last little couple of hammer strikes gets the right piece in place, and you hear the thing come to life.
Starts to whir.
And Kadeth, if you're watching it magically, it spouts forth magic. It's like, whoa. And there is a lot of teleportation magic going on there.
I'll look towards where I would expect Sachi to be.
Okay.
I'm gonna go look outside.
Okay.
I'm going to look for the logbook.
All right, you look for the logbook. You find the logbook very easily. It was tucked away in one of the panels, hidden up underneath some things, so nobody messed with it.
I'll put the date and all 3 names on it.
All right, and you throw it back in there. Fix an elf and
And
Leiros.
Leiros.
All right,
Tell
so
her where else fixed an elf.
to look, do you go outside to look in the direction of Saji? To like you're looking at the shield.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you go outside to take a look. The shield is definitely pulling out from the orrery. It is expanding rather rapidly. You can see how it's stretching over Key, stretching toward Dagon, where you came from. You see it stretching down toward the foundation stones where Osnu is. You see it stretching out toward Rarmon and even out toward like the Iron Saint and the obelisk of the water god. It looks like it is going to cover all of the steadfast, or at least half of the steadfast practically. And it's stretching out all of that direction. And yes, that is in the direction of Shaji too, but it's going to probably hit Rarmon before it goes all the way to Shaji.
Gotcha.
So it's in the same direction as Rarmon.
Then I'd go back in and take the rod and put it in to take me back to the one we were in previous.
Okay. You put the rod in, you turn it, you think of the scarred monolith, and then it kind of falters a little bit, and then you're like, oh yeah, they called it Dagon. And you see the orrery at Dagon as a portal.
I'll take so I'm able to take the rod out and leave it on, right?
Yes, but you feel that if you take the rod out, you have about 6 seconds to get through that portal. It will close
So
quickly.
one round. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look to the others. Are we ready to go?
Give me a minute, and I would, because I just want to keep looking at the magic in the sky, basically
Okay.
the shield,
Okay.
and just see if there seems to be any fluctuations at all, or if it seems to be going pretty smooth, like spreading smoothly.
It seems to be spreading smoothly. You get a good sense of abjuration. As it spreads out, you will get a little bit of a flare of abjuration as what you believe it's hitting another shield and they're actually connecting. So you get a little bit of flare as
Okay.
they are connecting, but it doesn't seem to be unstable.
Okay, that's what I was checking for, and then I'll head back in.
Okay.
Okay, ready to go.
I'll look to Leiros. Thank you for your help.
That is what I did many, many moons ago.
Well, perhaps we can discuss
Welcome back to your job.
stewards.
Right? It wasn't that bad. I would gladly be a steward of the orreries again.
I think we may need to do that, but
That is
for now,
something I know.
he kind of nods his head and looks at the others, waiting for them to go through. And once they go through, he'll pull the rod out and walk through himself.
All right. You guys go through the portal to head back to the scarred monolith. All right. You go back through, and you pull the rod out, and you go through. You step through the portal, and you can feel it close behind you. You step out into the scarred monolith. You're stepping back out into the orrery because it connects directly to the orrery's room.
Right.
And you're in the room with the orrery at the scarred monoliths.
I'll go up and I will press the first button.
Bam. What are you looking for?
Shot Saji.
All right. It kind of fluctuates a little bit, and then it starts to get clear, and you will see almost like you're looking. You're not quite looking as far away from it as you were other cities, but you are looking, and anybody who's looking at this can see this. It's not just Vix. Everybody can see this. You are looking slightly above maybe one of the taller buildings, looking down at Saji. It looks like you can see like the town square. You can see where the council chambers are. You can see where the library was. You can see kind of all of these places that you were at. You see people milling about doing their daily duties. It does seem to be dark. Everything's lit with like ever burning torches and things like that.
Does it seem to be the same time that it would be if it was on our plane?
No.
I'll communicate that to the others.
It
And then I
seems
what's
like
that?
to me that somewhere along the lines we read or heard from somebody that the maybe Saji can't be pulled back.
But Gandhi says otherwise.
Tatra also said Saji at last the door.
I think Saji can be pulled back. It's just we're gonna have to do it just right.
Just right.
I'll
'Cause
take a moment now.
It needs to be moved in time and space, essentially, or time and dimension.
Time is probably a factor in some manner.
Say this is the place to do it from.
Well, this is the place to handle the time. What about the dimensional shift?
Well, we can see it through the dimensions. So this has ability to see through them.
Right, but can we pull it to the physical plane?
Do we have to
So
use another orrery?
That's what I'm wondering. Is there one of the other ones that its ability is to do that?
I know.
Thinking back through them, is there any that would make sense?
Siamam had the orrery that could do planar travel.
That's what
It's the one that Philethus fixed for you. It's at the obelisk of the water god.
Okay.
Well, before we do that, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try hitting, doing up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start.
Trying for the cheat
He's
code,
gonna
huh?
try to find the cheat code.
You're gonna use the cheat code.
I'm gonna use the Konami code. Yes. Oh.
All right, you fool
I can
around
do
with it a little
tsunami.
bit.
I'm afraid your princess is in another castle.
Your princess is in another castle. But I got so sick of hearing that like 10 times before I finally found the princess.
I have
So
Storm of Vengeance. Is that like a
you
tsunami?
fool around with it. I want you to roll me.
I have tsunami too.
I will let you choose. Insight, Arcana, or Investigation. I know you won't choose Investigation, but those are the three options.
2 out of 3 of those are based on intelligence.
Okay.
Those will not be the ones that I choose.
Okay.
So
Inside it is.
Inside it is.
Inside it
I mean,
is.
okay. To be fair, my Arcana is only 1 less than my Insight.
See, proficiency helps.
Yes. All right. So that's a 22.
Okay, 22. You're fooling around with it, and through your insight, you are starting to get a feel for the machine. And you start to feel a little bit more of a connection to the machine. It's uncomfortable at first, but the more you kind of lean into it, the more you start to feel this machine is almost alive. And you start to fool around with it, and you realize that you can lock in different settings. So you go and you pull in, you got Saji, you find where you can lock that in. It's not any of these buttons, it's not the lever, but you find a panel that is like a pressure plate. And you're able to lock in that city. Then you start shifting and locking in an older time, like you go, okay, well, let's start from the beginning. It came from the second age. You lock in that time, and then you push it up to present, and you lock in that time. Like you're starting to put in all of these separate things into this machine, almost giving it a code to run by.
So giving it the parameters of
Mhm.
what to do. Once I'm done with that,
Evangeline walked away.
Evangeline has left.
Evangeline has left the building.
Well, she hasn't left the building, but if she didn't get up and move a minute, she's going to like explode.
Evangeline, roll me your perception or your insight. Yeah, it would be perception or insight. Sorry, I know they're both wisdom skills, but you could have some proficiencies.
Is a 9 plus a 7 is a 16.
16. All right, which one did you roll?
Perception.
Perception. Okay, because I'm going to give it to you differently than if you would have rolled an insight.
Use
Watching.
your flash of genius.
You want? Can you
Oh,
use a flash of
use
genius on
flash of
yourself?
Yeah, let's do flash of genius.
What does that even do? It just adds something to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, hold on. +5.
+5. So you're going to 21.
Yes.
Okay. Kadeth. Roll me. You can do insight or your religion.
Why couldn't I do religion?
Definitely religion.
Because religion is important for him, not for you.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Really?
Yes, really.
Okay, much better because I rolled a 4 on the first die and a 20 on the second die, so 30.
So 30. Excellent. Forsyth, you can roll an insight or perception.
Okay. Oh, perception, definitely.
to see some of this.
27.
Okay, 27. Cool. You all got above 20s. All right. Evangeline, your perception. You see Fix doing all this. He's really honed in. And as you're watching him, it's almost you almost see him meld with the machine a little bit. It's a little unsettling at first. It's almost like he's becoming the machine almost, as he's fooling around with this. And you see him reach and he hits a panel that, like, that was just a panel. No idea what it did. You're like, you totally missed that button. What are you doing? But you see that he knows what he's doing there. Forsyth, with your perception, you also see kind of how he's melding with the machine a little bit. It's a little odd. You do see him hit a panel. It's like, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something, I guess.
What you doing over there?
Kadeth, you rolled religion
Uh-huh.
with a 30. You see that there's a little bit between Fix and the machine that you're familiar with. You see between Fix and the machine is a lot of what visually you're seeing Fix in the machine, what you experience when you go into the blood pool. And you're able to see that, and you kind of know what's going on here. And you're like, okay.
So
And then-
somehow he's communing with the machine.
Yeah, somehow he is communing with the machine.
Okay.
God's machine.
Gonna sit back and
Specifically.
watch it happen.
Fix, you lock all of this in. And once you get it all locked in, you're like, okay, you've got time set. Now you have to get them out of the astral world and to the right place in the material plane.
I'll take the rod and dial in the other, the plan of travel. Orrery.
Obelisk of the water god. He doesn't even say anything. Forsyth did ask you what you doing.
As he's
oh wait.
as he's doing that and he's pulling it out, and then he'll start answering the questions, sort of like there was lag.
There's a little lag going on there.
And I'll just be like, okay, I've got in the time coordinates locked in, connecting where they were to where they are and here. Now we need to actually pull them through. I think. Most likely. That's what I feel. Yes. And then he'll look at the portal like half expectantly, since he's sort of in a zone right now.
He's kind of in a zone.
Okay.
And you will see another orrery that you guys are not familiar with. But it is running. Like, he did say, Siamum. So you know where you're going. It's going to be Siamum, or at least a piece of it. It's the only one that shattered, so it's a little scattered everywhere.
All right, head on through.
Head on through. All right.
Yeah.
You head on through. You end up in the orrery at Siamum. It is running. You see buttons and levers and all kinds of stuff all over this machine. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Just like normal.
1 o'clock Rhonda's time.
Fair.
And she's going to go, boom, right out of her chair. I mean, if we stay on long enough, maybe we can see her just fall out. Although her chair's awful comfortable. I don't think she'll fall out of that.
I sleep in my desk chair frequently.
I've done that more times than I like to admit.
I can't sleep
Even
in
while
my
we're
desk
gaming.
chair.
You
I
would
can't-
fall out.
I would definitely fall out, especially right now because my desk chair is a bar stool.
Oh Lord.
I move around too much. I decided a bar stool was better for me. So, all right. But that's where we're going to stop for tonight. You show up at the obelisk of the water god in the Siamum's orrery, which is already running. And we'll see the next couple of steps to see if you can get Saji up and back to the material world. You have direction fix of you've got the time locked in. Now you need to get the plane right and the position right.
What?
But you have the time. So,
And we leveled, right? Oh.
and honestly, yes, I'm going to let you level.
Oh shit. I was
Oh,
joking, but thank you.
I am going to let you level.
she's
Because-
trying to get this over with.
Well, there's a little piece. If you want to have encounters at level 20, I got to get you to level 20. So
Yeah.
you're at level 19 now, and
Right.
I'm going to let you level because Fix has finally experienced communing with Gond in a way that Evangeline communes through her book and Kadeth communes through the blood pool. And so I'm going to let you guys level. At 19, you have figured out how to get Shaji back to this world, or at least you know the direction of how to get Saji back to this world. And then who knows from there, because you still have a certain evil god that's like, I need to take over the world.
And we're going to smack him around with a large trout.
And nobody's looked at the cards lately. So
Nope.
That'll be the first thing we do, maybe, if we remember.
if you remember. So, all right. So that's where we're going to end tonight. You guys are going to level 19. You can do that tonight, or you can hold off until tomorrow, Rhonda, if you want to. So, to those of you who are still with us, thank you for sticking with us. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you know when we go live next. And hit that like button. Share the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, please, and let us know that you were watching. And for any of our events that we're going to be part of, we do put them on our website, dnDadJokes.com, where you can go to upcoming events and see where we're going to be next. We also link the event webpage there so that you can go check out the event for yourself as well. And you can check us out on other social media. We're not nearly as active on anything else, but we have links in the description of this video as well as on our website. So check it out. So I think that's it.
I think so. Have
All
a great
right.
week, everyone. Bye-bye.